uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. A side official, no negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS back in the building. Want to get right down to it. I just wanted to touch bases on this social media, you know what I'm saying, arena as sort of a kind of intervention. I need to have a little small, brief, but educational intervention. Boxing is taking a turn. It has somewhat found itself in a wormhole. Boxing has had every opportunity throughout the years for someone within the sport to make a change, right? We have said over and over again, this boxer was doing this. They might be the next. This boxer might be the next. This boxer. You know, they always place the hashtag on these fighters that's coming up as the next best, right? It's difficult to tell because 1 minute the fans are supporting them and 1 minute they're gone. But now boxing is in an absolute wormhole. You have Turkey Al Sheik that's putting on fights that has just about entered with a broom in hand and sweeping up old hallways that boxing has been traveling for quite some time. It wasn't like anyone was going to class. It was just they was walking around the halls, you know, debating each other, battling it out, having freaking debates in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? About different topics that didn't really make a difference on the state of affairs in boxing. Just out there having fun. You know, don't worry about going to class and teaching about something so we can, you know, not have a day like this. We have Jake Paul, who has absolutely taken the most horrendous route to basically prove himself as a fighter. But you have these human beings who's been on YouTube and they so braggadocious about being on here for so long. They up here bigging Jake Paul up because they believe he has enough ass to go around when it's time for them to pucker up their lips and kiss it. I ain't lying. I'm not lying, y'all. It's a lot of y'all up here puckered up real nice. You know what I'm saying? Your lips are like one of them, some of them suction fish, the wild suction fish, man. They be in the wild, but y'all are worse. Y'all shit's like window suction. You know what I'm saying? Y'all shit the way y'all up there giving Jake Paul hickeys on his butt cheeks, his gluteus maximus. Y'all kissing his ass so much. And this is to once again highlight a part of boxing that it has some principle to it. Where it used to back in the day on how we looked at certain boxers and we graded them on their resume and what their performance values and everything else that they did as an amateur into the profession, what their age is right now, who they on fought, how who they've beat, you know what I'm saying, and who their opponents that they beat, who have they fought and beaten. That was somewhat how you connected the dots in boxing. But let me tell you, I can understand why some of these guys have selected to basically lower their levels to waist high when it comes to Jack Paul, because they've been stroking his ego hard for the last 2 weeks. And they up here talking about this man being a world champion. They talking about who he should fight next. He's getting everybody paid. So the ones that's not out here getting people paid, because clearly we can see Jake Paul being the co-founder of MVP and the main event. So we can pretty much assume he's going to win. If not, let's enter evidence number one, and see if you notice any discrepancies. Okay, let's see if you notice any discrepancies in this old vid. I mean, this fairly new vid, but a couple of days old. Just not to bore you this late because it's in the AM. But Mike didn't throw any uppercuts. When have you ever known Mike Tyson not to throw uppercuts? Someone please elucidate that for me. Huh? When have you ever known the physical anatomy and what Mike has learned over the years as a world champion, one of the legends of the sport? I'm Mike Tyson. When have you ever known him to absolutely expunge freaking uppercuts from his repertoire? Somebody please explain that to me. But when I say fights are fixed, these cats want to really get mad about shit. You know, like it's one of those sessions where you think me and you gonna gossip back and forth about something that you know that's wrong, but you just want to be right so you can get the views. You want to ride this train, this bandwagon that's out there right now with Jake Paul. Let me just basically do you a courtesy. Oliver McCall, who was 59, just had a fight in Nashville, Tennessee. He won that fight. He called out Jake Paul. Antonio Tarver, former champ, of course, he's called out Jake Paul. Undefeated, gold standard Olympian, Andre Ward's called out Jake Paul. That's 3 now. Okay. Oliver McCall, Antonio Tarver, Andre Ward, Daniel Dubois, currently holds the IBF heavyweight world champion, has called him out. You know what I'm saying? Francis Ngannou, who's 0-2 right now in the sport of boxing, has called out Jake Paul. You want to hear more? I mean, it's more out here now of those individuals that's calling out Jake Paul. Arthur Beterbiev has put his name in the hat because boxing is all about the hocus pocus of boxing. You have all these fighters that's calling out Jake Paul. This is like when that shit used to be out, when they used to say, "What are those?" by Daniel. What are those? They pointed your shoe. What are those? You know, that quickly came in, went viral, and then left, right? This is kind of sort of like, what are those? You know what I'm saying? When these old ass fighters are calling out Jake Paul, who they know he can't, who they know he can't beat them, but they just dare to basically do what every other fighter is doing. They want to go there for the money, have the conversation, act like they're going to do something against the grain, like Tommy Fury, and come out with the victory. And look, there's very limited people that have the cojones like myself to freaking speak on how these contracts are freaking manipulated, how these contracts are altered. They have key words. They're talking about no uppercuts. Mike didn't throw no uppercuts. So therefore, once again, you have Jake Paul, who is being called out by all these these people. And we have over here on the YTC, when it comes to the real fighters, they're arguing about rehydration clauses. But in Jake Paul contract, he can have pretty much anything he want. Ain't nobody saying shit. Don't nobody even want to talk about Jake Paul and him having stipulations in the contract. They don't want to talk about that, because they already have modified gloves, modified rounds, all that. Don't nobody want to talk about it because it's Jake Paul. Nobody wants to go on a long tangent and call up Victor Conte and have him ask if they being drug tested. Nobody want to talk about the particulars. That's usually a topic of discussion and concern within this boxing arena of social media. Jake Paul doesn't get that action. They just want to talk about 60 to 65 million Netflix. Oh my God. That's what they want to talk about. They want to talk about it was history making. But man, y'all should ask yourself, do I hold myself accountable? Yes, I hold myself accountable. So if you follow this boxing shit for real, you should say to yourself, I need to be an advocate and stay on some type of code, because they're not holding Jake Paul accountable because he is a promoter who's setting up the main events. And nobody's winning like that when he's setting up these main events and he's promoting. Nobody's winning. He's going in there and looking terrible. His hands was down. Any real fighter, technically, I'm talking about technically inclined, proficient, you know what I'm saying, that can go in there and box, that's considered to be at a high level, will fuck him up. They'll fuck him up. Fuck him up something dirty. But hearing the Andre Wards be on podcast to my Jake Paul say my name, damn. I just had to breathe a little bit, right? You know what I'm saying? Kind of feel the energy from inside of how boxing always reminds you that it's a business that really doesn't benefit the fighter. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. A business that doesn't benefit the fighter on a consistent basis to prevent situations like Andre Ward coming back, trying to get a big fight with Jake Paul because he feel like it's a perfect opportunity. Or try to get a fight under Turkey out of sheep since he knows Crawford very, very well. But it reminds you all the time on how boxing, the system flows. It just flows downstream. And then when it's time to retire, you go off the edge. And depending on how deep that drop is, and the speed of water that's flowing, you know what I'm saying, that direction, on how it's going to be once you touch down on the other side. No retirement plan, no medical benefits, none of that shit. If you have an injury that hurts you in fight number 7 and you go on to fight 30-some fights, if that one nagging injury where you might have broke an arm, broke a wrist, broke an ankle, something, it starts to become arthritic, you don't have no medical attention for that. So that part, I say, okay, cool. Go where the money at. That's what a fighter will tell you. I'm going where the money at. Jake Paul putting the money out right now. That's where I'm going. But it's the fighters that you wouldn't think that would come out and fight a fighter, a licensed boxer, a licensed fighter, to get in the ring with him, knowing if you're the main event, he's going to give you the stipulations in the contract and you have to abide by that. And you're not going to get your money until the fight is over. I mean, let's take a look at this. This is a more realistic. This is one of the newer videos. Okay. This is more realistic to those of you that's listening and in the chat. Salute to y'all.
Iron Mike Tyson. You can tell he's been training hard for this fight.
I hate
He's
how
in
accurate
peak
this
physical
is.
Condition.
But not at the same time.
Oh man, it's the GOAT. What a legend.
Hope you're ready to die. I'm bathing your fucking blood, Logan.
Look at Grandpa go. Just joking. My man's still the goat for real. Respect.
Let's make it look convincing.
Oh, wait. What? Oh, Mike lands a clean hit on Jake.
Oh, he hurt him.
And it
He hurt
looks
him.
like it
He's
hurt.
bleeding.
Oh, Jake's hairline did not like that.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna bite your fucking dick off, Logan. Was that convincing enough for you, Logan? Yeah, perfect.
Wait, what?
Okay, now go ahead. Oh, no. Ah, it hurts. Ouchie.
Hey, all you have to do is attend the Problem Child Gym. I got my I got my boy Jesus, Jojo, Ricardo outside with a goddamn Malinois, Rottweiler, Pit Bull mixed in with a little dash hound. Dude used to, hey, you talking about shadow boxing in the street. Dude's skills was unmatched. Impeccable, unmatched skills. You know what I'm saying? He out there and he want to get into the Problem Child Gym. So he's sitting out there just like the Nike 3s, the MJ 3s is coming out, cement. You know what I mean? He's out there. He a former shallow boxer, 62 years old. He want his shot. He ready. He said, if everybody else getting a shot within my age group, I should be next too. So I said, okay, sit out there next to Problem Child Gym and goddamn, you know what I'm saying? I'll make a phone call, see if you can go in there and show him what you got so he can get you ready for that next main event. I was thinking about this, right? What if Jake Paul fought 3 times a year and he was able to raise the type of money? That means he has single-handedly found a way to breach, you know what I'm saying, the perimeter of boxing to the point where he's making his money his way and he's getting the results that he's getting. So obviously the dynamic is working. If he was to fight 3 times either, let's say I heard he got 40 million for this fight. If he can fight if he can fight 3 times in 2025, and let's just say he averaged 30 million, you know what I'm saying, a fight, that would be incredible numbers, y'all. We're talking about a fighter that's a non-ranked fighter, a fighter that has one of the worst resumes in boxing, but on the business side of it, he has the sponsorship, he has the investors, he has the money. He can if he fight 3 times next year, he could potentially make 90 million. 90 million of doing fights with modified contractual agreements, and people are still showing up to see it. Now, I can promise you, unless it's somebody that we know and adored, like if Sugar Ray decides to come back to fight Jake Paul, that's the only way he's going to be able to do some numbers that we saying to ourselves, damn, Sugar Ray back? I want to see this shit. I want to see this shit right here. You saying Sugar Ray coming back? Yeah, Sugar Ray. Wow. I see him training all the time. It looked like he weighing about 155, 160. You know what I'm saying? In great shape. But we have Oliver McCall. Next, Ike Bucci gonna fight. He gonna be calling them out. You know what I'm saying? We have Antonio Tarver. Andre Ward, of all people, who I really don't like to get a fight with Jake Paul, but I would like to see him, if he's provided the opportunity, make his biggest payday of his career. That would be great, because like I said before, I don't really get into too deep at all. You know what I'm saying? In the monetary kiddie pool and start talking about freaking paychecks. But all I'm saying is that's exactly what fighters are going to go in there with Jake Paul for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? He's going in there for a freaking paycheck, bro. And it just gets down to a point where You have boxing heads on here that's just praising this dude like he has the best roster on BoxRec right now. Carefully selected killers. And he's fighting them in their prime. I just look back at how we criticize these fighters, how they said Ban Rodriguez was fighting them, but old fighters. Ban Rodriguez now, one of the most exciting, entertaining fighters. He's fighting old ass fighters. They criticizing the youngin. He's fighting old ass fighters, man. They don't even want to give the man credit. But Jake Paul is fighting very old and groggled men. And he has no shame. He has absolutely no shame. You go in there and fight Mike Tyson, shit, I got a 62-year-old right there waiting for you. I mean, lethal as a shadow boxer. Undefeated. He just want to go in there and get that work. So you can think about, putting him in there in your next event. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to Jessica in the building. The queen on deck. Mike, I see you. What's good? Toby Bartlett is in the building. Salute WCS and the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. Yes, sir. It's just amazing how all these fighters are coming over there for a fight. And they don't care what the outcome is. That's pretty much what you're saying. If I can go and get a check, I'll do anything you want. That's pretty much what they're saying. Seriously. I'll do anything you want, Jake. Put it in the contract. If you don't want me to drink no water 12 hours before, you know what I'm saying? Just straight, no water 12 hours before we supposed to fight. I'll do it. That's fine. 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? If you want to wear smaller gloves and I wear bigger gloves, go ahead. No problem. And also, if you want to put brass knuckles in your gloves and I don't have any, that's fine with me. Because what you said in paragraph Delta 1 tac 3, you said at no time should a fighter land a full combination of 3 punches or more on his opponent. A fighter can only throw a jab or a 1-2. That's it. No Mike Tyson uppercuts. I mean, did you see the fight? Jake Paul was open. His arms was down. He was open for a counter. Man, his face was well open for a target. And guess what? Just guess what? Mike Tyson didn't throw it. Mike Tyson was trying to teach this young cat something, but he ain't there to be taught. Mike Tyson was trying to tell him to get his hands up, protect your face. And then every time Mike killer instinct, his inner desire, freaking goddamn start the rage, right? He had to goddamn remind himself what the contract said. He had to think about all that money he was going to make afterwards and the vacation he was going to attend and, just have time relieving that stress of fight camp and everything else. But God damn it, Andre Ward says, say my name. We got fighters out here saying, say my name. Oh my God. Say my name, say my name. That's what they want goddamn Jake Paul to do. And look, long as he hear that shit, he's going to continue to come at y'all like that. He's going to come up there and treat you like y'all ain't did shit. And you got fighters who was real world champions. Real world champions. And they want the payday with Jake. They want that payday, y'all. There's nothing wrong. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the payday. It's just the people who's requesting it. I say, no, not you, bro. Not you. Man, will y'all watch Andre Ward and Jake Paul? Hell yeah. I think out of all of them, Andre Ward, out of Oliver McCall, Daniel Dubois, Tonio Tarver, all them cats. I believe if he fought Andre Ward He's not going to give him that long to train. I know that for a fact. If he sends Andre Ward the contract, he's not going to give him that long to train. He knows how long he's been out the ring. Not going to give him that long to train. And I think a lot of people will pay attention to that because this will be a sanctioned fight for which Andre Ward potentially might lose his O. Now, granted, I don't think Jake Paul in a real administratively fair fight, no way, shape, or form, I say, yeah, he's gonna beat his ass. Jake Paul's gonna beat Andre Ward. I don't believe that at all. I'm not even gonna hold you on that. I don't believe that at all. But for that dinero, lo mucho dinero, amigo. Yeah, sí. ¿Cuánto cuesta? Yeah. They know. Incla deska. Taksgiu. They know. You know what I'm saying? They coming over there with the full understanding it's gonna be for a paycheck, and whatever you think you heard or you assumed or how it's gonna go down over here, you going here trying to beat my ass. You ain't getting paid till after the fight, and you need to make sure you adhere to what the contract states. Okay, you're not going here doing your own thing. So that's my only concern with Andre Ward. Not so much his boxing skills, but just him going in there losing to Jake Paul, and that one is no longer available. Just like the WBA and BoxRec, it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone. I'm gonna be pissed. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be pissed, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I want to give a big shout out to those who are ready, to get up in a couple of hours, going to work on this Thursday. Man, I want y'all to be safe out there. It's getting closer to the holiday. There's just so much going on according to what city you in. We have a new president. We just have so much going on with boxing right now, MMA. Everybody's pretty much anxious for the next 2025 schedule. I know once again the cheerleaders have grabbed their pom-pom and basically pulled up their skirts, and they're talking about something dealing with a big fight card that's supposed to come out. Hey, I'm all about seeing the fight card. Next year we got David Morrell, David Benavidez. That's worth looking at. That's worth giving your attention to. Benavidez, Morrell, yes, this is worth it because it's going to separate. And I feel what Benavidez is saying. It's going to separate these two because the fight fans have been eagerly, impulsively throwing Morrell's name in there with David Benavidez. And I just don't think he's ready. I think he's going to be as strong as the first 3 rounds, possibly 4. And then the remaining is just going to be domination by David Benavidez. Because one thing we know about Morrell, he loves to take a chair on his punches. He loves to sit down on them bitches. He loved that. That's one thing we know. He loves doing that. But can he catch Benavidez enough early on to do some damage? Does he have enough power to drop a KO Benavidez? That's what we want to see. And vice versa. Does Benavidez has enough to stop Morrell? We'll see. It's gonna be a great fight. Shout out to the Oracle Trick Nochi in the building. I see you. But it's gonna be a solid fight in my opinion. I still see. I just gotta take a step back from what's going on in 135. You know what I'm saying? It's just the same thing. Like you hear about the Schofields, is Keyshawn, or Javante. I heard Javante is potentially coming back in the second month of the first quarter of 2025. And I also seen this out here floating around it's a potential rematch between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, right? It makes no sense for people to just be dogging and criticizing and really throwing salt on a fighter that's moving up from 130 pounds, right? That's moving up from 130 pounds as a champion. As a champion. Roland Romero moved up to 140 pounds off a knockout into a championship position. So boxing don't talk about it. Don't talk about Roach moving up from 130 to 35 when just before that, Shakur Stevens was about to fight Joe Cordina that was moving up from 30 to 35 too. It's not like it hasn't happened before. This type has happened in a way. Unifies 118 and moves up to 122. Was anybody saying that Stephen Fulton is fighting the bantamweight? No, they didn't. So I'm saying to myself, why don't you just keep it quiet? It's been fighters doing this for the longest of time, but y'all zoning in on Tank because he's been out the ring for a while, and you need something to keep him, keep conversation going, get more subscribers and all that. Y'all want to dog Roach out. See, one thing I know about the plague that's in the YTC is when it comes to two black fighters, a lot of time they always select the one they don't like. I'm serious. They select the one they don't like, and then they talk about the one they like. If the one they don't like has never been one of their favorite fighters, they'll just say little things just to basically keep that fighter relevant. But the one they don't like, they should have been go full force to try to make a point. All we want to do is see some of the better fights when it comes to 2025, because fighters have been moving up for the longest of time. Crawford moved up from 140 to 147, fought Jeff Horn. Y'all weren't saying shit about nobody, and Crawford was considered a small guy. That's what they said, right? So why everybody keep on talking about Lamont moving up from 130 when it's been plenty of fighters that did the same exact thing, bro? The exact same thing. Triple G moved up to fight Canelo. I don't want to hear. He was just at 160. No. Because it's the last time I checked, in between these divisions that's higher, there's more weight to climb. There's more rungs. These rungs that has pounds on it that you have to climb when you get in the heavier weight classes, vice being in the older weight classes. 5 pounds, 130 to 35, 5 pounds. That's less. That's less than freaking going up there 60 to 68. And Triple G moved up to 68. The fight in the Trilly, right? That freaking Canelo gave him a promissory note, an IOU. Say, I come back and get you. Give me 7 moons. Let me align these 7 moons and stars. And no matter where you at, I will send up the back signal and I'll make that fight with you, Triple G, because I respect you. I respect you, Triple G. Even though you was talking shit about me testing positive for clenbuterol, I respect you, Triple G. This man gave a 160 pounder a fight at 168. Not only that, is that, hey, the man took 7 fights in between, I think, between they part 2, they rematch, until he fought him in the trilogy. Nobody was saying shit. Nobody was saying a goddamn thing. Nobody was saying shit. They wasn't saying when Canelo moved up and fought Dimitri Bivol again, even though he went up there and fought a freaking Sergey. Yeah, I understand. But he still moved up from a division below to fight a champion in that division. So what I'm trying to say, it happens all the time. That's all I'm trying to say. It happens all the time. Shout out to Blue Hustle in the building. I see you. What's good with it, bro? It happens all the time. Don't be mad at yourself. Just understand that in the scheme of things, the system of boxing has allowed a newcomer to basically make his presence known, and they have the money to make their presence stay known. Okay. And also what you're seeing with someone who also has money, may not the liquid budget of a Turkey Al Sheik, but when you're talking about putting on fight cards and basically getting fighters paid their money, Jake Paul has these individuals puckered up real nice. I'm talking about with the finest lip gloss, and they're kissing so much Jake Paul, you know what I'm saying, that their lips are even turning white themselves. You know, if you know what I mean. And it just gets to a point where, yeah, you can praise him for the money aspect, but that's going against your integrity, your rules, your standards. It's going against that because you're criticizing other fighters for doing stuff that you're not even mentioning with Jake Paul. You're just criticizing the shit out of them, but you're not doing it for Jake Paul, and you don't care to do it because you just say he's making them money. But what about resume? Resume don't matter. What about drug testing? Oh, it don't matter. What about quality opposition? It don't matter. It's boxing at the end of the day. It's what you can do for the sport. Well, the sport doesn't have a single entity. Yeah, you just do for those who's close to you in the sport that's connected, and you'll be just fine. That's where they at, y'all. That's where they at. That's why Paul get overlooked for not being a part of a lot of shit when it comes to what they hold the regular boxers to a standard for. I mean, I'm assuming you would have took a piss sample from Jake Paul. You might as well consider yourself a motherfucking alien because that cup gonna start glowing, and once that shit start glowing, and your hand still attached to it, your shit gonna start glowing, and that's when that music gonna start playing, and you become David Banner, and you start transforming into a Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Your shit, man. That nuclear goddamn piss would have hit your shit, and you would have became immortal. You would have found yourself running full speed, 180, 200 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? Looking for vibranium. You would have been over there looking for vibranium. That's how you would have did if you would have took one of them goddamn piss tests and turned it up, tighten the lid and then put it over there for testing. Your motherfucking hand would have turned green. You would have became Wolverine. Blaze would have popped out your shit. Nigga eyes would have started glowing. You would have went out there and started fighting crime over there in New York with all them goddamn migrants living in a hotel and goddamn built. Man, I don't know what the fuck over there, but hey, good luck to the ones who's over there, man. And be safe, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got some shit going on over there. For real. But like I was saying earlier about Schofield, you got Mason, you got Keyshawn. I heard rumor mill it might be Baranchek. If that indeed the truth, that means Keyshawn may potentially get his title shot. But what I hate about 135 is gonna blow over real quick because that is one man on there that them fighters want to fight. Some of them because of Payday. Tank may be on a hiatus right now, but when he comes back, I think people are going to be extremely happy to have him back. And they're going to be eager to see him fight, regardless of how people are shitting on Roach. They're going to be very, very eager to see him fight. But that division, in my opinion, I hope some people move up quick. I hope Keyshawn move up quick to 140. And I hope Shakur Stevenson. Because I just don't like this brother shit that's going on. I don't. Abdullah Mason, Keyshawn Davis, and Shakur Stevenson, all on this brother tip. You know what I'm saying? Shushu not up there yet to be on the brother tip. But, all of them on this brother tip, and they're talented. They have potential star power to be a champion. But, Keyshawn has made it perfectly clear he ain't fighting Shakur. So Shakur should, from whatever promotion, man, they should try to make that something that's mandatory or something if they ever get in the rankings. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to get within the rankings. And some of these fighters are only ranked in certain sanctioning bodies. But people, I got to bounce, man. It's Thursday. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. Appreciate y'all for pulling up as always. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes and your ears open. Tell yourself to filter through the bullshit. Decoding this information is mandatory. I just don't want you to be out here walking around like a social media bum or a social media zombie because you brainwashed off all the shit you hear. It's a lot of lies that's being spread out there now. A lot of lies. Don't be a part of that. Stay away. Stay far away from them lies, man. Far away. Be smart about your boxing talk. Till next time, man. Peace.